안녕하세요 여러분, so theresesohere. In this video, we're gonna talk about something Korean again because this is another K-Talks episode. But in this video, we're not gonna talk about something that we love in South Korea, but we're gonna talk about something very serious and something kinda sensitive. So I'm gonna give you a disclaimer before starting this video. I'm in no way lifting down any race or anything. I'm just gonna share some experiences that I myself experienced and my friends in South Korea experienced. So let's start this out. Before starting everything, I'm gonna tell you guys when I started going to South Korea. I started at 2018 and went back almost every 3 months. I went back to South Korea to just explore the country because I really love the country. I went back and forth and I usually stay there for 2 weeks or 1 week and just explore the country, because when I was in my second trip to South Korea, I told myself that if I had the opportunity, I will live there because I really loved it. I don't know, after how many countries I've visited, that's the country I really told myself that I want to live here. Instead of I want to go back here, I told myself that I want to live here because I really love the culture. I really love how disciplined the people are and everything. That's why it was so hard for me to accept situations where I experienced racism. So there. Let's start. It all started when I started attending Seoul Fashion Week. I made foreign friends back then. Every shows, I made foreign friends from France, from America, and everywhere outside Asia. But when I had this one Korean friend, he told me that I was so lucky that my last name is So, because that's a Chinese last name. If they knew that I was a Filipino, they wouldn't invite me in the show. And when I heard that from my friend, I was like, why? Because I didn't know that they look down on Filipinos. And when I asked my friend, he showed me this video of a reality show where there was this Korean who had fair skin and he was bullied in school because he doesn't look Korean and they called him Filipino. That's when I realized they look down on Filipinos that much. My friend told me that many older generations are the ones who are like that, who are racist against Filipinos, that some older generations doesn't want any of their child to have any relations to Filipinos because Filipinos are low-class citizens in South Korea, and most Filipinos who go to South Korea back then are girls who are sold to Korean men. So there are really Filipino girls who were sold to Korean men who doesn't have any relationship. So they need someone to be the one to bear the child of that Korean man. I don't know what they call this Filipino woman, but there are Filipino women back then, and I think there are a few now who are like that, who are sold to Korean men to bear their child. So that's how low they think we are before. That's the first story. And my second story, talking about older generations, I had this experience when I was getting lost around digital media city and I was just vlogging around and everything. And then this old man literally shouted at me and I can't understand him. So I didn't know what to do. He was shouting at me and telling me to, I don't know what he was telling me back then, because that's the second or third trip I had in Korea. So I didn't know any Korean words. I didn't know anything at all. When I showed my friend that video, the old man was telling me to get lost. But the thing is, I was holding my camera in the escalator and he was trying to let me know to get lost and stop filming in an escalator. So I just wanted to tell that, because if they shout at you like that, it doesn't always mean it's racism. Sometimes you're doing something irresponsible, because older generations there really would call you out when you do something irresponsible. Like there was this one time when I was bringing so much things for Fashion Week and I didn't use the one in the trains. They have this area where you can put your bag. I didn't use that. I really carried everything and I was hitting this old woman beside me. So she really called me out to put my bag up in the bag carrier. So there. You really have to be responsible, and you really have to know their culture, how disciplined they are before judging the experience. Because there was this one time, there was this group of Filipino tourists in this subway. Usually in subways, Koreans don't talk too much. They don't talk loud. They don't talk too much in subways. That's why if there's someone who is noisy, some people would really call them out. And there was this one time that there's this group of Filipino tourists. I know they're Filipino because they're speaking Tagalog and I could understand them, and they were really talking loud, and I myself wanted to go to them and tell them to keep quiet or tone down because people there are not that way. They don't talk loud that everyone could hear what they are talking about. But I was so shy to get up and go to them. But there was this old woman who really shouted from the other side of the train, and then she shouted in Korean, and this group of Filipino friends didn't understand the situation. So they toned down, and one of them told, ay siguro dahil Filipino tayo. And I really went up and explained to them because I didn't want them to interpret the situation wrong. Just like when I had an experience in the escalator thing with the old man. So that's another experience that I wanted to share because I heard some stories where Koreans doesn't like Filipino tourists. I think it's not that they don't like Filipino tourists. There are some Filipino tourists who doesn't look through cultural differences, that when they are in South Korea, they don't really go with the culture of that country. So we need to respect each other's culture. So if we are in their country, I guess it's good to research what we need to know about their culture. Their basic transpo etiquettes, their basic eating etiquettes, and everything else. Because our race is getting labeled sometimes because of our own irresponsibility. So there. The third experience I want to talk to you about is the experience I had when I wore this Philippines jacket. I had this jacket that I really wanted to wear in Seoul Fashion Week because I wanted to show that I was from the Philippines. So I wore this jacket with the Philippine map and the Philippine text in the back. And this was the time that I really was affected because every Fashion Week when you go to Dongdaemun Design Plaza, people would usually take pictures of you, especially if you're wearing something nice. So that time I wore all the Philippine flag colors and that Philippine jacket. So one photographer went to me and wanted to take a picture of my outfit. And then many photographers also followed. But when I turned my back and tried to pose where the Philippine map was showing, about 3 or 4 photographers went out. And this one photographer who was in front of me told me to don't show the back because it says Philippines. So that time when that happened, I literally went blank. I was standing there, people were taking a picture of me, and after that I went to the CR and reflected what happened. And that's when I realized they really don't like Philippines. One main reason is the one that I told you, that Filipinas are sold to Korean men who doesn't have anyone to bear a child for them. And the second reason is that Filipinos in South Korea are factory workers. So we're kind of the low-class citizens there. So they have this stereotype where Philippines is a poor country. I really want to defend my country, but that's just our reality as a Filipino because our country is really a poor country compared to the other countries in the world. But I just hope other races would see that not all Filipinos are. And even though Filipinos would be tagged as the low-class citizens, I hope they see the heart of Filipinos because Filipinos are really hardworking, loving, caring, and everything. Filipinos are the best, guys. That's why I really wanted to wear something Philippines because I wanted to show Korea that I was representing the Philippines and I was in Korea. The fourth experience that I had is in a club. And I met these friends that I knew in Seoul Fashion Week. And I met my friends' friends and the friends of their friends and everyone's friends. So the night was getting long and we were talking. And one of this Korean guy that I met asked where I was from. And when I told them that I was from the Philippines, they started asking me about the Philippines, how Cebu was nice. Cebu had nice beaches, Boracay. They usually know Cebu and Boracay. And then one guy popped out of nowhere telling me that Philippines is a place where there are so much girls, so much prostitutes. I was really angered. At that moment, I really fought with that guy, even though that guy was a friend of a friend. So we had this argument and everything else. And then one day, this video from a famous YouTuber popped out. And this famous YouTuber talked about how Korean guys who goes to the Philippines goes here for the women. This famous Korean YouTuber is telling everyone that Korean men who goes here in the Philippines goes for the bitches, not for the beach. I was really mad that I commented this long explanation in her channel. That was the first time I commented something negative on someone's YouTube channel. Although I can see where she got all those things, because I could definitely confirm that there are many red light districts here, because there are many people who are having a hard time here in the country. But that doesn't justify tagging the whole Philippines to be a country like that. So there, I really got mad, and I really got mad reading the comments because some Koreans are agreeing with the Korean YouTuber. But there, I left a comment, and I think people saw the comment, and I'm glad some people read the comment because I really wanted to clear out the name of the Philippines. So we made this video, guys, because I wanted to show you guys that a single experience with one person or a single story that you heard doesn't mean you can tag everyone as this kind of person. So I shared my experiences to you guys in Korea, but I think this happens all over the world. I have experiences in Japan, I have experiences in Taiwan, I have experiences in my own country where I was discriminated because of my race. I actually asked people in my Instagram account a few days ago if Filipinos are racist. I saw that some people agreed because it also happens here. Maybe I had experiences in South Korea, but I think South Koreans also have experiences here. And I don't know how and when this racism could end.
But all we can do to end all this is to be kind to everyone whenever and wherever we are.
So there, guys, if you want me to do a part 2 of this video, I could do another video. I have so much more to say, but I'm trying to end it here because I think it's gonna be a long video already. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in my next videos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell button, and see you in the next Katok Katok K-Talks with Therese. Bye!